Joining us to discuss all this foreign policy and more, Judd Dunning, author of 13.5 Reasons Why Not to Be a Liberal. You see it on your screen, and our panelists, Mark and Bobby, also here with us. A challenging past few days for the Biden administration when it comes to foreign policy. Let's start with China here. Chinese officials told the U.S. essentially, you do not come from a position of strength. That was the quote there. Judd, your reaction to these U.S.-China talks so far?
Yeah, thank you. Good morning. Maybe somebody should remind people that Biden and China have a lot in common. They both like to arrest people and hold them without bail, a.k.a. the Capitol Hill riots. I mean, there are certain parallels that they're calling out because there's been bad action from the Democrats. And you got to give China credit. You know, they have nerve, too. I mean, comparing BLM to rounding up 1 million Uyghurs during this summer, you know, they put them on trains, use them as slave labor. It's like comparing a campfire to a nuke. Yes, they're both hot, but that's where the similarities end. You know, the other thing they have in common is like Nike supports both. You know, we really need to see what Biden's putting out there. We know he's weak. And I think Democrats should have thought about this when they ramrodded and put him in there. And now, how are we going to stand up? How are we going to pay off? It's a completely different world than what the Trump administration was putting forth.
Well, you mentioned Trump administration. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, he was on Newsmax yesterday talking about China's capabilities. Let's listen to that.
Their capabilities continue to grow. Their economy grows. They continue to act as a colonial power in Africa and South America and even in the Middle East, trying to buy off political leaders there. So their capabilities grow. Their military capabilities grow, too. And now they've made clear their intent. Their intention is unambiguous. They talk about this. They used to say, bide your time and hide your strength. And now they're showing us their fists. They're showing us their strength. They're doing it in Hong Kong. They're doing it with the massive human rights violation in Western China. Make no mistake about it. The Chinese Communist Party believes that America is in decline, that they are on the rise, and they intend to take full advantage of that. Call them an enemy, call them an adversary, call them what you will. But it is their intention to be the dominant power in the world, and they intend to do so quickly.
That is a strong warning from Mike Pompeo there. Bobby, do you think the current administration will take some of that advice to heart?
Well, I don't know. They have to save a little bit of face after what happened the other day. And here's the thing. Nations like Russia, China, they'll always test a new administration. Those are aggressive nations. They want to see what kind of game, basically, the new leader of the free world has. But when they saw Biden, it's kind of like Obama. Any administration that says we want to increase or lift up America's standing in the world, fix that, they have to be licking their chops. And this is just the first salvo. They know Biden is weak, and they came out really strong. China did. I'm surprised Putin didn't challenge Biden to a fight. But this is what happens when we have weak U.S. leadership. These countries will take advantage.
Well, you mentioned the test. You mentioned the debate here. Jen Psaki was asked about it, those Putin comments. Here's this.
Does President Biden regret calling Vladimir Putin a killer?
No, the president gave a direct answer to a direct question.
So then how is that, you don't want to escalate tensions, how is that constructive to the relationship when you talk about diplomacy being primary between the U.S. and Russia?
Well, President Biden has known President Putin for a long time. They've both been on the global stage for a long time, worked through many iterations of a relationship between the United States and Russia, and he believes we can continue to do that.
Does the president believe that the leaders of Mohammed bin Salman, one of the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, does he view him as a killer?
I don't think I need to add more killer names from the podium just today.
All right, let's focus just on Russia then and the U.S. here. Mark Williams, what do you expect this relationship to look like now that we're already seeing these verbal back and forths?
Yeah, Emma, file this under things I'm the least surprised by. I think we were going to see a back and forth between Putin and Biden. And like Bobby said earlier, these are strong foreign leaders trying to test the new administration. We knew China was going to react this way, especially in light of how tough President Trump was on them for the past 4 years. And I wholly expect Vladimir Putin to act the same way and keep up the same type of rhetoric. I think it would behoove Biden, and I'm not sure it's really in his nature, to push back really, really strongly and have some very strong policies both in engaging China and Russia. I just don't know if he's going to do it.
Well, talks with China continue today. Judd Dunning, about 30 seconds left for you. What would you like to see from our U.S. officials when it comes to these conversations?
Well, absolutely. Blinken said that the hallmark of our society is that we're open and transparent. The truth is that's not true. We just don't do it on Twitter, Facebook, and public or the Amazon cloud. I'd like to see a real shift toward democracy. I'd like to see them talking about how they're actually deregulating our country. I mean, the real thing we could tell the world is we could cut about 30% of our U.S. policies right now, and we could function as in individual freedom. But that's just my conservative dream this morning. So, I mean, look, they're just going to stand off.
All right, we'll leave it at that. We'll wait and see what happens, if Judd's got a crystal ball or not. Our panelists, Mark and Bobby, stick around. Judd Dunning, thank you very much. If you want to know more about Judd's thoughts, you can check out his latest book, 13.5 Reasons Why Not to Be a Liberal. It's available everywhere books are sold. You can save some time. Go to the link on your screen right now or order on Amazon today. It's going to take you directly to Amazon's page to order this book.